Thank you for joining us tonight. You're now with me, Shao Shaminato, for TVS Nightline. We begin with the headlining stories. The Sarawak government is now actively carrying out efforts towards herd immunity in the state, and one of the efforts is continuing the industrial vaccination program. As of today, 236 companies are registered for the program under the Ministry of International Trade and Industry, Industrial Terminal and Entrepreneur Development.
As part of the government's effort to expedite COVID-19 vaccination program, pusat pemberian vaksin industri PPVIN are being set up for the manufacturing, plantation services, construction, as well as oil and gas sector.
Yes.
To facilitate the vaccination exercise of the employees in the private sector. To date, a total of 236 companies have been registered with Mentrade to participate in this PPVIN program for the manufacturing sector.
Once the vaccination target is achieved, the Sarawak government will consider reopening the economy sector by stages. However, they will still have to adhere to the standard operating procedures to prevent any new infections.
Once we have achieved the target of vaccination, the government will consider to slowly open up the economy, subject to full compliance of the SOPs. Mentrade is committed to ensure that the vaccination program for the manufacturing sector is carried out successfully throughout Sarawak.
Meanwhile, 70.38% of Sarawakians had received the first dose, while 32.4% had received the second dose. And 207,452 applications of the Kenyalang Gold Card KGC had been submitted since its introduction last year. Out of the total, 11,592 applications had been received by Sarawak's Department of Community Welfare from January until the 30th of June 2021.
Kita juga memberi peluang kepada rakan strategik kita untuk memberi balik kepada rakyat kita, terutama warga emas. So it is their way of giving back to the society by offering discount to our senior citizens. Dan utama untuk kemudahan kesihatan ini sangat membantu sebab apabila kita sudah berusia warga emas, satu daripada isu yang kita hadapi ialah dari segi kesihatan.
Dato' Sri Fatimah also said that her ministry had received applications from 278 companies throughout Sarawak to become strategic partners of KGC. KGC was introduced to enhance the welfare and well-being of senior citizens in Sarawak.
Selain daripada diskaun kepada Kenyalang Gold Card holders, ya, ada juga bantuan yang diberi oleh kerajaan melalui Kenyalang Gold Card ini, iaitu bantuan ihsan kematian. Waris, di mana waris Kenyalang Gold Card ini boleh memohon untuk mendapat bantuan ihsan kematian apabila Kenyalang Gold Card holder itu meninggal dunia. Jadi warisnya boleh memohon untuk membantu dalam urusan pengkebumian.
Meanwhile, the one-dose COVID-19 vaccine is recommended to the homeless in this state. Fatima said this is because they are hard to be tracked on their whereabouts for the dose.
Hari itu kita bincang dengan Kementerian Kesihatan, pengarah hospital, pengarah Jabatan Kesihatan Negeri Sarawak, katanya preferably single dose. Sebab memang benar, hari tu ada sok sininya. Nama pun pengarah pun ada fikir macam ya pengarah kesihatan paling bagus ialah yang jenis 1 dos saja.
At the same time, there were homeless whom just lost their jobs and homes due to the MCO.
Ianya adalah satu cabaran bagi kita sebab mereka ini sentiasa berubah tempat. Dan pada masa yang sama, kita juga mendapat laporan ada gelandangan baru. Ada yang menjadi gelandangan sebab mereka ini hilang before they were not. Mereka bukan orang gelandangan dahulu, tetapi disebabkan PKP ini, ada di antara mereka sudah hilang pekerjaan, jadi mereka tidak ada tempat tinggal, ya. Mereka jadi menjadi gelandangan. These are the new ones, and we are aware of that.
She opined that this is the best way of vaccination for the said group is through the outreach program. The vaccination program will begin at July 28 in Desa Binadiri, Kuching, and will mobilize to other districts. On to the next update. Early today, a total of 300 residents in Semarang received the COVID-19 vaccine at the Mashma Mall Vaccination Centre. According to Member of Parliament Dato' Arifah Hasidah Syed Aman Ghazali, with the initiative, it will expedite the process of the vaccine to residents in the area who are still waiting to be vaccinated. Up to date, an estimated total of 2,000 residents in Semarang are still in the waiting process for the vaccination program. And on to the COVID-19 development. Sarawak recorded a total of 289 new positive cases on Wednesday compared to yesterday. The top 5 districts which added to the rising number of cases were Kuching, Sibu, Bukit Mabong, Beluru and Samarahan. According to Sarawak Disaster Management Committee, Kuching recorded the most cases at 137, amounting to 50% of today's new cases. For that, the cumulative total of COVID-19 cases in Sarawak as of Wednesday are 69,865 cases. Out of the new cases, today's new cases included 6 immigration detainees in Kuching and 1 immigration detainee in Simunjan detained under Ops Benteng. 15 districts did not record new cases were namely Muka, Song, Sabau, Belaga, Dalat, Limbang, Matu, Julau, Marudi, Lubuk Antu, Pusak, Kabong, Tanjung Manis, Lawas and Daro. 4 new deaths were reported today, one involving a 55-year-old woman from Kapit, while 2 were from Serian District and 1 from Song District. Meanwhile, 3 new COVID-19 clusters were recorded today, namely the Duyo Cluster Bau, Jalan Tio Kuingo Cluster Meradong and Cluster Sentosa II. SDMC in a statement today said the cluster, dubbed the Sentosa II cluster, involves staff and residents of the health facility. A total of 181 individuals on the cluster were screened and 52 were found positive for COVID-19. Another 129 still awaiting lab test results. The total number of active clusters in Sarawak now stands at 98. In another development, the Health Ministry's Medical Device Authority, MDA, today agreed to grant conditional approval for the importation and distribution of COVID-19 self-test kits in the country. MDA Chief Executive Ahmad Sharif Hambali said so far 2 COVID-19 self-test kits had passed a prescribed technical evaluation and performance testing and would be given import and distribution approval in the near future. He said the special meeting of the MDA board today also agreed to finalize conditions to be complied with by any company that obtains permission to import and distribute the test kits. He also added that these conditions were important to provide a control mechanism to ensure the safety and performance of the test kit, which would be distributed and used by the public as a COVID-19 infection screening test. Although the test kit can be used as a screening test to get immediate results on the infection status, it does not replace the real-time diagnostic function of reverse transcription polymerase chain reaction. Any company intending to obtain conditional approval must have an establishment license under the Medical Devices Act 2012, adding that the list of test kits that have been granted conditional approval will be posted on the MDA website.
The rice is not cooked. Oh man!
Hopefully she don't burn the aromatic.
I do have one question. Is the instruction correct? Oh my god!
So I think like our crew actually enjoy seeing us getting commended lah.
Kami Firafandi sebagai Putit.
Ya, kalau dia Putit, saya Stunter James sebagai Bueng.
Jangan lupa untuk menonton drama komedi senyap Sayang Celorot Si Kuih Cincin
Pada setiap Sabtu dan Ahad pukul 12.15 tengah hari.
hanya untuk TVS saluran 122 Astro dan MyTV. Guys, confirm mantul guys.
1, 2, 2.
7月19号星期一早上9点30分，我是华校生最后一集，华校生的原乡情 Astro 频道122和 MyTV 只在 TVS。
Hello everyone, I'm Iki. Guess what? Rhythm of Borneo will be back for its brand new season. So be sure to check out new episodes of Rhythm of Borneo every Saturday, 3 p.m. only on TVS channel 122 Astro as well as MyTV. See you guys there.
Welcome back to the Nightline. Now on to our crime development. Police have crippled an online gambling ring following a series of raids at Jalan Ming Chung. Acting on a tip of the premises comprising 2 condominiums operating as call centers were raided at around 3 p.m. on Tuesday. Investigations revealed the syndicate had been active for 9 months and used various social media platforms to promote their activities and raked in 4.5 million ringgit.
Serbuan pertama, kita berjaya menangkap 7 orang, semua warga negara asing, dan merampas peralatan-peralatan komputer yang digunakan untuk mengoperasikan calling center. Kemudian seterusnya kita membuat serbuan di 1 unit premis, di tingkat yang sama. Di situ kita menangkap 3 orang, 2 orang tempatan dan 1 warga negara asing.
A total of 10 individuals, including 2 women, all aged between 17 to 22 years old, were arrested during the raids.
Sindiket ini telah beroperasi, calling center ini telah beroperasi sejak 9 bulan yang lepas dan mengaut keuntungan sebanyak 4.05 juta. 9 bulan, tuan-tuan, 4.05 juta. Serbuan yang kedua beroperasi 3 bulan. Telah mengaut keuntungan sebanyak 270,000.
Meanwhile, Asmon stressed 2 out of 3 suspects who attempted to flee from the police by jumping from the 2nd floor unit have been caught, while another one is still at large. Asmon pointed out that police have also caught 2 suspects believed to be the syndicate's supervisors. And the police are in the midst of looking for another 2 witnesses to facilitate in the investigation. The case is being investigated under Section 4(1)(g) of the Common Gambling Houses Act 1953, as well as Section 6(1)(c) and Section 51(5)(b) of the Immigration Act 1959 to 1963.
Meanwhile, stockpiles of charcoal were destroyed following a factory fire at Jalan Demak Laut around 5 a.m. earlier this morning.
Susulan daripada kebakaran itu, kita dapati 10% struktur kilang telah musnah dan 100% produk kilang iaitu yang terdiri daripada kayu arang telah musnah semuanya 100%.
Rescue works took almost 6 hours while faced with difficulties, such as minimal visibility causing limited vision for firefighters other than the water source issues, which were at a distance of 150 to 160 meters away from the scene.
Susulan daripada banyaknya barang atau produk fire load ni, kita panggil beban api ni, menyebabkan asap memenuhi ruang kilang tersebut, menyebabkan pandangan pihak bomba terbatas disebabkan oleh asap yang tebal ini. Justru apa tindakan pihak bomba adalah pertama sekali kita cuba mengeluarkan asap ini seberapa banyak yang mungkin, seberapa cepat yang mungkin supaya kita boleh menepasti tumpukan-tumpukan kebakaran yang berkenaan supaya teknik pemadam kita lebih berkesan. Jadi selain daripada asap berkenaan juga, kita juga berhadapan dengan isu sumber air lah. Memandangkan pilih bomba yang berada di situ berada lebih kurang 150 ke 200 meter. Jadi kita terpaksa juga melibatkan water tanker kita untuk membantu kerja-kerja pemadaman supaya lebih berkesan dan lebih cepat dalam operasi pemadaman berkenaan.
Henry added that among the cause of the fire were due to the flammable stockpiles. No injuries or casualties were reported from the fire, and the cause of the fire is still under investigation. On to the next highlight. Sarawakans are urged to give information on families badly affected by the COVID-19 pandemic to the Welfare Department. This is to enable the department to give them immediate assistance worth 300 ringgit without involving too much red tape. Sarawak Minister of Welfare and Community Wellbeing, Women, Family and Childhood Development, Dato' Sri Fatimah Abdullah said many of them did not know who to turn to for assistance during this difficult time. Thus, information from the public was very crucial. She said this when met by reporters after presenting food baskets from the department to 50 families at Tiong Hua Zone here today. Fatima said the Welfare Department also worked closely with individuals, non-governmental organizations, and corporate bodies which could offer assistance to the needy. And some good news as Sarawak Pay users will soon be rewarded with rebates and vouchers. The much-anticipated rewards are in conjunction with the prestigious Sarawak Day celebration.
The local e-wallet is set to have 220,000 discount vouchers as well as other rewards up for grabs. The Sarawak Payday Top-Up Rewards campaign has been popular amongst users ever since its launch on Sarawak Day 2019. The news was verified by Lucy Wong, a representative of SiliconNet Technologies Sendirian Berhad, the company licensed by the Central Bank of Malaysia to manage Sarawak Pay. The state government launched Sarawak Pay in 2017 in an effort to introduce digital economy to Sarawakians.
On the other hand, ASEAN and the United States or US must focus on reigniting their economies and reversing the damages brought by COVID-19, said Senior Minister of Foreign Affairs Dato' Sri Hishamuddin Tun Hussein. Commenting further, he added, both sides should use this opportunity to further enhance the cooperation where two-way trade between US and ASEAN countries total over $260 billion. ASEAN-US must be mindful that millions of lives depend on unimpeded trade to continue between ASEAN and the US. And both sides have to work closely together to identify and address any trade disruptions. Hishamuddin noted that Malaysia, as country coordinator, is working closely with Australia and Brunei Darussalam as ASEAN Chair 2021 on this matter, which is a key priority for Brunei's chairmanship this year. Meanwhile, other areas where ASEAN and the US can further strengthen cooperation include cybersecurity, digital development, and transnational crime. And the average mean salary for Malaysians dropped by 9% in 2020, the first time since the data was recorded in 2010.
In a statement, Chief Statistician of the Department of Statistics Malaysia, DUSM, Dato Sri Dr. Muhammad Uzair Mahidin, said the situation was due to the COVID-19 pandemic and sluggish job market. In addition, 3 sectors experienced a steep decline, namely agriculture with minus 20%, mining and quarrying minus 17.7%, and construction minus 10.4%. Services and manufacturing sectors recorded a 9.4% fall and 2.8% respectively. Muhammad Uzair added the mean monthly salaries in urban areas netted a larger decrease of 9.3%, while mean in rural areas reduced with a rate of 5.5%. Additionally, the top 3 states with the highest median and mean salaries are Putrajaya, Kuala Lumpur, and Selangor.
Under the great blue sky over Hornbill's land grows Sarawak's treasure, pepper. Its reputation precedes itself and is used by millions all over the world. However, very few understand the challenges faced by pepper farmers. Episode 3: Adversity.
United Kids of Oi!
Jangan lupa saksikan Nembiak Toronto setiap Sabtu jam 11.15 pagi hanya di TVS saluran 122 Astro dan MyTV.
Akan bervaksin items happy beranak bak tandang menua pusing kau pantai ingat kita yang menghormati terutama di madah kecaranya
and we can see
Salam sejahtera.
Warnailah hidupmu, tampilkanlah bakat baru. Sarawak pasti maju, menginspirasi duniamu.
Jangan lupa saksikan saya, Shana Sabri, dalam Legasi Seni di TVS, saluran Astro 122 dan My Preview.
Thank you for staying with me. The World Health Organization's chief scientist, Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, advises against the mixing and matching of COVID-19 vaccines from different manufacturers, calling it a dangerous trend as there are little data available about the health impact.
It's a little bit of a dangerous trend here where people are in a data-free, evidence-free zone as far as a mix and match. There is limited data on mix and match. It will be a chaotic situation in countries if citizens start, deciding when and who they should be taking a second or a third or a fourth dose.
Pfizer is currently pushing US and European regulators to authorize a third booster shot to supplement its 2-dose regimen. However, health officials, including the WHO's Swaminathan, says that there is no medical evidence that a third Pfizer shot is necessary.
It has to be based on the science and the data, not on individual companies.
And meanwhile, Singapore's Tourism Board on Wednesday said a ship operated by Genting Cruise Lines on a cruise to nowhere has returned to the city-state after a passenger was suspected of having contracted COVID-19 while remaining guests were asked to stay in their cabins.
The 40-year-old passenger tested positive on a polymerase chain reaction test on board and had been conveyed to hospital for further confirmatory testing. The passenger was identified as a close contact of a confirmed case. The gas had tested negative during a pre-departure antigen rapid test on Sunday. The tourism board said the passengers' 3 traveling companions were identified and isolated. They have been tested negative for COVID-19 and further contact tracing was being done. The global cruise industry has taken a major hit from the coronavirus pandemic, with some of the earliest big outbreaks found on cruise ships. Singapore, which has seen relatively few domestic COVID-19 cases, launched round trips on luxury liners in November, which have no port of call and lasted only a few days.
We wrap up the Nightline with this update. Having grown its solar capacity by more than 7 times since 2015, Singapore is now one of the most solar-dense cities in the world. The solar panel farm spans an area equivalent to 45 football fields and produces enough electricity to power the island's 5 water treatment plants. The project is part of efforts by the land-scarce Southeast Asian city-state to meet a goal of quadrupling its solar energy production by 2025 to help tackle climate change. The 60-megawatt peak solar photovoltaic PV farm has been built by a wholly owned subsidiary of Sembcorp Industries. The solar farm could help to reduce carbon emissions by about 32 kilotons annually, comparable to taking 7,000 off the roads. As opposed to conventional rooftop solar panels, floating ones perform between 5% to 15% better because of the cooling effect of the water. The electricity generated from the 122,000 solar panels on a 45-hectare site. It would make Singapore one of the few countries in the world to have a water treatment system fully powered. The solar panels are designed to last for 25 years, and drones will be used to assist with maintenance. And that concludes TVS Nightline for tonight. And as always, thank you for tuning in to your local news tonight. Here with me, Shosha Meto, and I'll see you next time. Have a good morning.